What's going on, guys? Anthony with Simple Tech Talk here, where I help you get the most out of your Android device. And today we're talking about the Note 9. And not exactly the Note 9, but what you should be doing with devices like these when you first get them for the first time. What do you do when you put it in your hands for the first time? What are the best settings to go around? So I'm going to go through a couple of things that I do personally with my new phone, so that way you guys can get an idea of the best way to achieve your experience with this device. Let's get into that. So first things first, one of the things I think you guys should definitely take advantage of is some of the settings features within the Note or even any of the S9 series phones, okay? So what I mean by that is when you're using these phones, some of the settings that are in these phones really can help you maximize some of your experience with this device. So what I'll do is we'll put it up right here on the side. And once we start going through the device, I'm gonna show you some of these settings. So right now, you go into the settings, and usually I'll take a step back. We swipe down, and at the top right corner, you'll have the cog for settings, and that'll be your general way of getting the settings. You don't need to find that app, you just go right into it from the top of your phone. And speaking of the top of the phone, it is a larger phone. So one of the settings that I prefer to go into is adjusting how to get down that notification shade. And the way you go about doing something like that is you go into advanced features and one-handed gestures, and you can see I have finger gestures off and on. I like to turn that on, and what that does is allows the fingerprint sensor, so I'll swipe down, it'll pull down the settings actually, and if anything I can do it for the screen. See, I can pull it down, and I can pull it down a second time, and actually it won't do it because I don't have any other notifications. We could swipe up and get rid of it. But that's a really helpful thing when you're trying to use this larger device with a smaller hand, and let's say you're in a screen like this. Right above that, you'll see it says one-handed mode, and you can use gesture by swiping up diagonally from a corner. Now, this is a nice feature to shrink down your screen and get you to the top of the corner edge of the phone. I personally am not a fan of using it, but I do have it on just in case I need to get there. And then there's one more feature that you can go into. So once you take a step back, you go into the display options, and within display, you're gonna tap on home screen. And from home screen, I want you to see where it says quick open notification panel, and you wanna turn that off or on. Now you leave that on, so that way when you go to the home screen, when you swipe down from anywhere, you'll be able to pull that down. And I'll show you again. You're gonna swipe down, swipe up. How beautiful is that, right? So you can get to the top of your phone really easily without having to adjust for anything. You don't have to adjust two hands. If you have a drink in your hand, bags, groceries, maybe you're holding your baby, you can still swipe down once and swipe down again and get that second portion of your notification shade. That's one. Two, another feature that I really like using is going into your settings one more time, going into device maintenance. Now this is actually a bit of a trick using your Edge. So if you don't know about device maintenance, this is how you optimize your phone consistently. But what I usually do is I embed it into my Edge. So I swipe over and I add that as a third window. You can see the little dots on the bottom there. I add as a third window, and you can check battery, performance, storage, and memory. And on the bottom it says optimize, because I'm currently 100% optimized. I like being able to just tap that button, hit optimize, and it'll basically clear up any cache memory that I have floating around or that's slowing down my device. I think that's really key for you to have right on your Edge, because you don't have to go into the settings and start trying to figure out device maintenance. You can just go right off of your Edge. That's one of my big personal, loves about this device. All right, so get into a couple more options that I can show you for personalizing and really getting the most out of the device is your keyboard settings as well as theming the phone. Now for me personally, I do love the Samsung keyboard. It's really nice where you have a lot of options right on board for your AR emojis, adding stickers, even using Bixby to speak to the phone, which is a great device, a great AI system as an assistant. That's a whole nother video. But what I really like to be able to do is change the keyboard itself. That's the beauty of Android, where you can customize and use things that you like on your own. So what I would like to do is suggest going into the Play Store. Once it opens up, I want you to type in Gboard. And you can see it pop up at the top. You can also say Google Keyboard, it'll find it for you. I already have it downloaded to this device, so we're just gonna go ahead and hit open. So once it's downloaded, you're gonna hit open. it's going to ask you to select your input method, and you're going to switch over to Gboard. Once you're there, you're going to go into some of the settings options, and these are very general settings that of course the app itself is going to want to give you, but my main things I want to focus on is preferences and themes. So we're going to go down to preferences, and you could turn on your number row. You can have that above the keyboard itself if you'd like, having the emoji switch key on, which I usually do, but my biggest thing about personalizing and what to do is all the way at the bottom, long press for symbols, and you want to change the key long press delay to about 200 milliseconds, and I'll show you why. Because once we go into the actual keyboard, let's go into, let's say, a text message field. Now you see my keyboard has changed. I've also changed the color. You can go back into the theme and change the colors that you choose, or even use the photo as your own background on the keyboard, but I like to keep it very simple. So here is one of the things that I love to be able to do. I can actually swipe and start typing things if I wanted, and just keep going for it, and it's really nice, and you get that nice trail, and you'll be able to see what it is when you're trying to connect the dots when swiping. But that key long press, what I'm showing you here is, if you see the letter Y, behind it is the number 6. So if I press Y, it's going to give me Y, but if I long press it for 200 milliseconds, it'll give me that 6. So the idea is I can just do something like say wow, exclamation point, really quickly, and get my message out to whoever I'm texting very fast. And I really enjoy having that ability. So another thing that I would like to show you, and the last thing of this video, I promise, is going into your theme of your phone. So what you're going to do is take 2 fingers and pinch on your home screen, and you're going to see at the bottom it's going to say themes, and you're going to open up your Samsung themes. And I think this is really ingenious of Samsung to have their own theming ability on their phones and really get you guys doing what you want to do. You can set it to fall, winter, or even Halloween or Christmas, and your entire phone, including the app icons, will change to look like the way you want it to look. For me personally, I like to make everything black and take advantage of this beautiful AMOLED screen. And I love having my screen nice and bright, so why not take advantage of the dark darks, and then we can personalize from there. So I've already gone ahead and downloaded one of the black packs, if you will, and I'm gonna go ahead and download that now. And it's already been downloaded, and we'll actually go to, we'll go to the black edition on the very bottom, and we're just gonna apply that theme. And what I love about the phone and the power of this phone is that this is gonna happen in real time, and it's gonna completely change how the phone looks and change all the settings windows, even your keyboard for, your background of your text messages field and your dialer. And we'll go into that right now. So if I touch on phone, that entire screen is black. Beautiful. If I swipe down, you notice my notification shade is now black. And if I go into my settings, that's also black. And I love being able to do that because it's going to save battery life while I use this phone. And I promise you, the battery life on the Note 9 is phenomenal. I've gotten upwards of 22 hours on one single charge and was able to get through an entire day and a half while using this phone quite extensively. That's just a couple of the things I wanted to show you. Let's tap into the messages again, and you'll notice the background of those messages from where we're texting is gone black as well. Again, saving the screen because I enjoy my brightness being extremely high, as you can see there on the settings. So I really want to thank you guys for sticking around. I know it's been a while for my last video, but stay tuned. I got a few more going for you. If you notice on the top of the screen here, on the top of my phone, I have a widget that I actually was able to create through Super widgets, and it seemed like my video on Nova Launcher was very popular. And I gotta say, I'm not even running Nova Launcher on this device yet. I'm just using Super widgets for the personalized widgets, and I'll show you how to go into that in my next video, I promise, guys. So once again, thank you for sticking with me. I'm Anthony from Simple Tech Talk. I'm out. Peace.